Every year, the design world starts buzzing about what's next. New colors, new styles, new tools, and a lot of noise. But trends aren't rules, and great design isn't about chasing what's popular. It's about knowing what's relevant, what resonates, and what actually works for a brand. In this episode, we're sitting down with our designers to talk about the creative trends we're watching as we head into 2026, where we're drawing inspiration from, what's catching our eye right now, how we think about trends without getting trapped by them, and how each designer's personal style influences the work they create. Welcome to Behind the Brand, the podcast for small business owners, solopreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to start strong, stand out, and stay bold. Each week, we'll take you behind the scenes to explore what it takes to build a memorable brand and grow a successful business. Are you ready to get behind the brand? Let's dive in. Hello, Moxieverse. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Brand. Taylor here. And today I am sitting down with all of our designers. But our space is small and we only have 3 mics, so you get 2 at a time. First up, Mo.
Howdy.
I was waiting for you to say Mo.
Oh, I was going to introduce
That's okay.
myself.
I'll introduce you. First up, Mr. Mo Philippi.
Pillar of the community.
Everybody's favorite Moxie. Next up, Mr. Michael
Everybody's
Nelson.
least favorite Moxie. Michael.
No, what did
Oh.
you get called yesterday in your birthday post? Shoot, and I thought it was so funny.
A comedian. You guys think I'm
No.
funny? I'm being serious all the time.
Dang it. I don't know. Mackie called you something that I thought was really cute and funny. I just thought it was really great and very fitting for you. But Michael is our creative director here at Moxie Creative, and he, leads the charge for the designers. What is it? King Midas, because everything you touch turns to gold. That's
Boom.
what it was.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
gonna be in
definitely
my-
a Mackie
My next rap
line.
battle.
My next rap battle.
MC Midas.
But Michael's our creative director, leads the charge for our team of designers. He is also an awesome graphic designer, illustrator, website programmer. Really, truly everything he does touch turns to gold. And then Mo is a senior graphic designer. You are incredible with brands, great at doing these really awesome illustrations. We're lucky to have both of you on our team, both kind of leading the charge for our designers as you
Is this a
are the
rap battle?
oldest.
Is this going to be a rap battle?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where this is going. So I want to start off with just a really easy question because we are going to talk about design trends for 2026. And I don't know why for me when people are like, oh, the trends, the things happening, it kind of freaks me out. I'm like, do I know enough? So we're just going to do some soft little snowballs. Softballs?
What are the people saying
Snowballs?
about the trends?
I don't know.
I've done
That's why I'm
zero
going to ask
research.
That's what I'm going to ask you guys. That's why we're here.
Just
Oh
the
my
things
God.
we've seen-
This
we've
is going
noticed.
off the rails.
Well, we did see
I thought we were talking about UFOs. Honestly, that's what I prepared for.
and the trend in going to UAPs.
Yes, UAP or UFO.
I did have to look that up yesterday. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I figured it was something with aliens. You guys are weird. Okay. All right. Anyway, so first things first, I would love for each of you to describe your design styles because that's one thing that I think everybody here at the office has very different design styles. So who wants to go first?
Maybe I describe yours and you describe mine. Just kidding.
I don't know. I was talking with Tyler, our other designer, the other day, and I have things I like and things I use, certain fonts with really clean aesthetic, but I don't really have a style because I came up doing T-shirts and stuff, and I was always mimicking other people's styles. Kind of fit my style to the client, to the work that we're doing.
Well, which is what we have to do, right?
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think there's very similar things about how our careers have progressed, but I definitely think there's things that we do differently, like your digital illustration stuff is I don't know how you do it. But the characters and stuff that you do are far different than in some ways, And then I think a lot of color stuff that you do, I'm just like, this is nothing I would have done. And it's it's just different than what I do. And it's cool when we work on things together that I'll do things and then you'll do things. And sometimes mine's picked and sometimes yours is picked. And it's just different ideas, which is really good. So
I like when bits of mine and bits of yours kind of come together
Yeah.
into the final thing. I also do comic book stuff, so that's my illustration style, but it's not like traditional comics. It's more of a painted look, and it's all digital on the iPad. And then you do more of a vector-based illustrations.
vector-based, clean. And that's kind of more on the screen printing kind of thing, and which you also do for some brands as well.
Yeah.
So it's
Interesting to hear you guys talk because I don't think that your design styles would be called, but I can look at something and if I didn't know who worked on that project, I can be like, Mo did this, Michael did
Oh,
this.
really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I think you guys have very different.
That's interesting. That's cool. I think, yeah, like I'm so in my own head and in my own space. I don't know what other people.
But in that
see,
same
I guess.
vein, though, like you said, when our branding process, when that starts out, a lot of the times it's two designers, whether it's you and Michael or you and Tyler or you and, it's two people kind of working on it. And then, we'll start to merge bits together. And that's really cool when it does,
Yeah.
then it morphs into something different.
Those are probably my favorite projects when that happens.
Yeah.
When it's like, I don't know what parts of this I even did anymore.
Yeah.
But like, it just, becomes a thing. That's really cool.
That's like a sip and pass, like really turned out that
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Like,
That's one of my favorite.
For sure. That I think is like a prime example. If you look at it, there's so much Mo in there and there's so much Michael in there for me.
And I don't know, seriously, when we go back and look, I'm just like, I don't know what, like that whole logo process was so cool.
I know you did like the bulk of the label, but it was based off other things I did.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
Like the logo itself was collaborative and really cool.
Even just taking bits from certain concepts that were, some were from yours and some like, oh, we like how you did this on here. Can we make it look like that? And the whole idea progresses into something that fits their brand, and that is super cool to do.
Where are some things, or how do you guys find inspiration for, whether it's projects or things that you're working on your own? Where are you finding new looks, new styles, all those things?
I mean, following, all kinds of illustrators and designers on Instagram, mostly.
The gram.
It is good for that.
It is.
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Back before social media got all weird, that's originally was just like photography and designers, and it was great.
Yeah, you just post a picture of a sunset and
Yeah,
capture
you
it,
get
like,
a
look at this.
100,000 likes.
Yeah.
I don't chase trend. I mean, I kind of keep out of read articles
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I get-
How do you
I get an
like
email
manage
feed
trends?
of stuff like website trends and stuff, and I'm like, I'll watch and see if there's anything we should be doing or maintain. But it's usually like visually, this is like what people are into. And it's like, well, I don't want to do what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
So I don't pay
Also,
too much
some
attention. But
trends
it's,
are like
yeah, it's
they're
like
a
really
little
out there.
crazy, and
Yeah.
like our clientele's probably not gonna fall for
Right.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's nice to keep abreast of that. But
Yeah.
like, how much am I going to use it? There might be elements though that I can pull. Like, oh, this is a cool like doing something 3-dimensional or something hand drawn, handcrafted. Like to bring that into our work is cool, as opposed to following a whole trend.
Yeah, maybe trendy elements rather than a whole trendy brand. It seems like the trendy stuff, it comes out and it all looks the same, And I don't know how that works in branding or why people jump on a trend like that.
Yeah, like I feel like I've seen, over the last couple of years, which it's not brands that we do, more of that like fine line kind of.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But like, if you put 10 of that style of a logo on a piece of paper, I'd be like, are they the same company?
Yeah.
And that's just not what we do
No.
here, right? We put all of our logos on something and it's like, well, they're clearly all very different.
Yeah. That's like talking earlier about styles. It's almost like that's somebody's style that they kind of developed, and then now it's a trend. Like everybody's doing it. It's like just looks like that guy's stuff.
For sure. And that's, probably sometimes what you get, right? When you are a freelance designer, you have just your own business, you're doing stuff on your own. And you could maybe speak to this because, like, you do have a style, right? Like,
I think more than one,
yeah. But when people wanted to work with you when you were doing freelance, they wanted to work with you because they wanted
Yeah.
that specific look,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, some people would say, like, oh, I saw this work you did, and we want something like that. I remember doing a mural for a company who had seen some stuff that I had done, and they're like, we want a mural on the wall that people take photos of when they come to our business. It was going to be a huge garage door mural, so I designed it, and it was super cool. And I sent it to them, and they were like, oh, yep, this is exactly what we wanted, and now that we see it, it's not what we want at all. And it was like, we love it, and we'll pay you for it. But, yeah, and it was everything that they said, and it just looked like that style. And then it
Weird.
turns out,
So then they never put it up?
No, and then we just did something else. I was like, well, what do you want? Like, let's.
Funny.
Seriously, that's how like the conversation went, and I was like, well, I totally get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
It was everything they wanted, but then they went with sort of like they actually did 3 garage doors, and it was like more photo based, and they love it. So
Well,
it's nice that I don't just have like a one style. Then
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, thanks for the paycheck. I'm
Paycheck.
out of here.
Yeah, right.
So-
Exactly. Okay, now on to my big question. Are there some things for 2026 that you've seen that you like, that you don't like? I mean, as you're scrolling on Instagram or staying up to date with Draplin and all that good stuff, is there things that you're drawn to and things that you're like, never doing that?
I'm not going to remember the name. Like, everything has to have a name now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Like, retro, future punk aesthetic, like, cyberpunk mod. Like, I know, but there's some, like, the weirder shit. Like, so I grew up reading, or not reading, but looking at design. There was this old thing called Ray Gun magazine. It was like skaters, and like they would do weird things with type and just to be able to. So it's like that kind of weird aesthetic. So there's some of that stuff. It is like cyberpunky colors and text that's all over the place, or not. It's just breaking all the rules of design. Like, I like that stuff, but
Yeah, kind of like the grunge album.
Yeah, yep.
That's kind of coming back a little bit.
yep.
I know.
How am I going to use that in my day-to-day
Yeah.
life? Nah.
I do
not
think
really.
there's some cool stuff that I've seen, and maybe one place that we as an agency have like more discretion to try some unique stuff is on like social media, where
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Yep.
fast and like here today, gone tomorrow, right? It's not like your tried and true brand that
Yeah.
needs to
It's
stand
like-
the test
yeah.
of time, right? But there's like some cool, like type stuff that I think is coming out, like just like bigger, chunkier kind of type that has like movement to it, and
definitely.
not just a sans serif kind of thing. I think as I work in this world more, type is something that interests me because I think it can change the tone more than color, more than the backdrop of a image. Is just, if you choose the wrong type, it can go downhill real fast.
Yeah, and definitely on social media, I feel like following the trends isn't necessary.
Or
Yeah,
just like
for
our,
sure,
like
for
any
sure.
communication stuff, even like emails and, even I think on websites, I think you can get away with doing some things that are a little bit more risque.
It's a finite thing or a digital thing that isn't meant for it. It's not your whole brand.
right.
Yeah.
It's just like a statement or a campaign.
Yeah. Like I know one site that we're working on right now, like we put like some like stickery kind of things on there, and like that to me feels
That
like,
was a
well, that's kind of a
trendy thing.
trendy,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, let's put it on there, but they don't have to stay forever. It
Yeah.
doesn't impact the design of the site so much that if like we were to take them off in a
wouldn't
year,
miss
like
them.
it'd be fine. So I do think there is an ability for us to still play around with some things
Yeah.
for our clients.
And building that flexibility in some stuff is kind of nice as well. So
Yeah. Is there anything website wise that you've seen that you're noticing? Like
just-
is parallax still like a thing, or
Not really.
you still see it.
Yeah, but it's more subtle.
Yeah.
It's not the whole thing unless you're Apple.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like every year I look at the trends. I'm like, that looks like everything you did last year. Like,
Sure.
Is this? So it's kind of the same stuff. I'm hoping everything's going to push away from AI and into more, like even on a website, more hand-drawn illustrations, more.
Yeah, I think
Creative.
so too. The AI stuff, I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but it all kind of looks the same like AI.
Yeah.
And I think it's easy then it makes it easier to stand out if you just don't look like AI.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think people are going to definitely be going away from that as more.
Do you feel like it's dwindling down?
It feels like it.
It feels like to
Feels
me
like
like
they kind of plateau.
yeah, like I'm just like not, and we talked about this just this morning. Like I'm not on social like a ton, so I probably see it like the least amount, but it does feel like it's just like
Yeah.
toned down a little
Yeah.
bit.
I think people know that it's not authentic.
Yeah. I
and it
think the
turns them
average
off.
Joes are realizing that too, right?
Yeah.
Like not just the people that work in it all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Just a waste of water, electricity,
yeah,
space,
right.
human minds. There was an article or something about they did a test group of people they would write an article and then people that would use AI to write the article. And then a couple months later they switched, and the people that had been using AI, their brains didn't work as good anymore. Just
Yeah.
after like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Vocabularies are changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was off topic.
Okay, well, I think I have to kick you guys out of here. As great as
Alrighty.
you
Don't
are.
wanna get too long
Okay.
of an episode.
Moon landing was faked.
Agreed.
Abby, cut that out. God.
Bigfoot lives on the moon.
And Avril Lavigne is a clone.
It's not her. It's not the real one. She disappeared in 1999.
Melissa.
She's a shapeshifter, probably a chupacabra.
Oh my God. Okay, bring out the next ones. Maybe they won't be so weird. Okay, now I am happy to be sitting down with our last two set of designers, Brittany, our layout goddess.
Hey.
And Tyler, who is a awesome brand designer, but also really skilled in videography and photography. Did a lot of that for Moxie in the last year since he's been here. It's almost been a year, Tyler.
I know, February.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
awesome.
I love
That's
it. It's
awesome.
crazy.
Feels official.
It feels like you've just like been here from the start, though. Like I don't know, it
That's good.
doesn't feel
No,
like
you
there
fit
was like
right in.
ever
It's
a day
awesome.
like when Tyler was not here. So to start things off easy, I thought I would ask all of you guys, and I did this for Mo and Michael as well. Maybe you guys will have answers because they made it seem like, well, that was the hardest question you could ever ask. What would you guys describe, or how would you describe your design style?
That is the hardest question.
Oh, you got okay. I suck. I thought like, oh, that would be so easy.
No, it's a tough one. You want to start?
Sure.
Have at it.
I would say design style.
Or like the way you design. Like, what are things that you think about when you're designing? And your design is obviously very different because you're doing a ton of
Right.
layout here. You're not.
Clean and refined.
Yeah.
I think is kind of what I strive for. There's always just so much info. You got to make it streamlined.
Yeah, because
I
as
think,
a
I
layout
guess.
designer, that's what you're working with. And I will say,
Yes.
like, I think you are. It's always interesting to me to watch you work and see, you know, what you're given and how it comes out because you are so right-brained and left-brained.
True.
Like, and we were just talking about this. Your inbox is like so.
I color
Ug-
code.
it's
I
so organized.
organize by client. I organize by year.
The
Like,
second
I
you get
love
an
it.
email, you're like, into your folder you go. Like it's so
I don't know
funny
why.
to me. I feel like that is like telling of the way that you design. Like you are
That's how
very
all my
clean.
files
Yeah.
are too. Like in my Photoshop files, I like to layer and name everything.
Your
like,
Photoshop files are insane.
ridiculous. I love it. I don't know why. It's just like because I've worked with like other designers in the past to where I've opened up files and it's chaos. You basically what I was taught from the beginning kind of is just kind of design like and package everything like you won't be here tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
someone will take over your project and they can do it seamlessly. So I guess that's kind of how I was taught. So I'm like really weirdly anal about it, but it's also fun for me. I don't know.
And it is really helpful for us.
I just
because,
love it.
Like this week, you had a huge project that was like on deadline,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, okay, well, we got to shift some stuff over to Tyler. And even though she uses
Rocked.
InDesign and you hate InDesign, you
Why do you
really
hate
do it.
InDesign?
I'm sorry.
I know, so does
sorry.
Mo. And I'm like, why? I love InDesign. I don't know why.
Because you're a layout designer.
True.
That's why you like InDesign.
True. That's probably why. I hate it.
Okay, Tyler, you're up.
I've told a few people here, like, ever since school, when I started designing, I could tell, like, other students around me had a style. All their stuff, you could tell was uniquely them. And I always felt at fault that I didn't have that. I was like, none of my stuff looks the same. I always kind of beat myself up about that. And then when I got into the industry and you're working with different clients, being able to adapt what you make to each specific client's needs is like way more valuable to me than
Yes.
having my own like super unique style. I have been working on it throughout the years in a poster design or stickers that I make for myself. I like thick, chunky lines, bold colors. I like it messy.
Messy.
For the most part, other than like my files, like clipping masks, everything has to
Yes.
be tight and clean for the final. I don't know. I don't really have a set style.
It's so funny though because like Mo and Michael said the same exact thing, and I'm like, you guys, if I look at something, I can be like,
You know who did it?
Michael did that, Mo did that. You're the same thing. Like I can look at it and be like, Tyler did that. Like it's just so funny to me that I'm on the outside and I can be like, well, that's, and maybe that's not saying this is your style. Like I just know that this is something that came from your hands and your mind.
I mean,
and
there's
whatever,
some
but
like logo presentations that we've sent out to clients in round one, and I'm looking at the files at like the 10 concepts that
Yeah.
are presented, and in most of them I can't tell. I'm like, this looks great, Mo. You did a great job. And he's like, Michael did
Michael
that.
did that.
Like, oh,
Yeah, there are definitely some times where things surprise me for
But
sure.
it's good being a brand chameleon because
You
that's
have
how
to.
you have
Especially
to be, 'cause
in the
yeah.
agency world. That's what I also talked about with Mo and Michael. You know, said similar things as you, as like they don't necessarily have a style, but when you're working with brands and all these different clients, you have to adapt to whatever they need.
Right.
And you can't just get so stuck in what
What your style
Yeah,
is
yeah.
and trying to fit it to someone else's
yeah, for sure.
brand.
And that's what makes all of the work really that we do so special is because you could put it up, everything next to each other on a board, and it's like, well, that's so uniquely that client, that's so uniquely this client, nothing feels the same. I said this in the first segment too, like I love the, kind of like fine line design. Like I just think that's so pretty. Like, I mean, I don't know, I'm a girl at heart,
dainty.
Yeah, right. And I love like dainty design, like dainty font. Like I love that. But if you put a bunch of stuff together, it would be like, well, this could all be for the same. Yeah. That style is just that style. So
we kind of ran into that on B-side. Like,
sure.
I went home and I showed Kim, shout out Kim, all the logo concepts we were doing, and she was like, why are these all so manly? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, none of these look appealing to me. She's like, you need some girly fonts. You need some dainty stuff. And I was like,
true.
Oh. So,
Okay.
Had her looking out.
Shut up.
Yeah, I love that she can get in on the action and give you
She's an
some
aesthetic.
feedback. Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I want to approach these next couple of questions that I have differently for each of you because when sitting down with Mo and Michael, they kind of do similar things. And not to say that, Tyler, you don't do layout stuff like with social and email and stuff, you do. But I want to talk to you a little bit more about like video and photography. And Brittany, you don't touch that stuff.
Nope.
I mean, you can be dangerous with Photoshop.
Dangerous.
You whiten people's teeth.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
What are some things that you're seeing, or where do you find inspiration for when you're working on a big layout project?
I don't know. I still like to hit up Pinterest. There's still some good stuff on there.
It is so
I
good.
love looking at Behance, but I mean, yeah, there's just a ton of stuff. Pinterest is full. We have boards. Me and you kind of collaborate a lot on a lot of client inspo and things we think are cool for certain merch projects or typography and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I turn to Pinterest all the time. Like when I'm starting out, like especially like when I'm starting out on a website or trying to find different colors and stuff. I look there a lot. I have so many just like private boards for clients that I probably need to go through and clean these up because they're super old. Is there anything that you've been seeing, when it comes to layouts, or like you've been doing a ton of like website layout and stuff lately, like trend wise that you're like, oh, that's cool, I'd love to try that for a client this year?
I know we were talking about earlier for design trends of 2026. I was just reading this earlier that since AI is taking over more and more, that designers are kind of leaning more towards imperfection in a way, like visually showing that in a way where it's imperfect or something's off balance.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just feel like it's to prove that it's human made instead of AI. Even though I feel like there are a lot of errors to come with AI. So if you see an error, you're like, oh, did AI do that? So I just found that confusing when I was reading that earlier. And I'm like, how can we make something look, I mean, we can make
perfectly
imperfect without being,
imperfect.
yes.
That is so hard though, because even like, Kelly, I think is just like so on about this all the time, like the kerning, the leading, all.
And if that was imperfectly, it depends on the client, I guess. Yeah. It's just hard to, I was reading that and I'm like, how could we apply that to, because I mean, AI is taking over everywhere and implementing itself in these little ways into our lives. So I'm just like, how do we make something look imperfectly perfect when you want it to be perfect? I don't know. I just thought that was weird.
Is there any, like type or colors that are really catching your eye right now?
Just big, bold fonts are super fun. Interesting layouts and stacking, and just not everything has to be typed out in a nice line. You can kind of juxtapose things with different layers. And I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. But
big presentation that you were working on yesterday, I loved how you kind of just on the titles, it wasn't maybe the title slides,
like
but offset it just a little bit, and you used a shape to like show. I don't know. I was just. That was the one thing that I like pointed out to Michael. I was like, oh my God, I love how she did that. Bit. Like, it was so good.
Yay.
But that to me right there, that is kind of the perfect definition of that perfectly imperfect. Like,
a little bit.
In a normal decision, a lot of designers wouldn't have done that. They would have just made it all left justified and whatever.
Right.
But you, offset that just a
a
little bit. But it's like, did she mean to do that? Yeah, she meant to do that.
You're
it's
true.
Cool.
That was
so
a little unexpectedly perfect.
I think that's exactly what you just described.
Well, dang, I'm done now. Okay, good. Wrap. No.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Okay, and Tyler, for you, because you have been doing a ton of video and photography stuff here for us,
We're so
and
good
helping
at
out
it.
with
It's beautiful.
yeah,
Trying.
and helping out
beautiful.
with a lot of our content that we do for our social clients, and with the change over in positions and stuff that we've had over the last month. No doubt we'll be doing a little bit more of that this year. Where do you draw inspiration from when it comes to video and photography?
Yeah, so there's a number of influencers or photographers and videographers that I'm following, and they keep up with the trends a lot faster than I do.
Yeah.
And just seeing that content continuously scroll through keeps me in the loop pretty good. I also want to point out, like, with photo specifically, in the last year, it's like 90% taken Isabella. She's out there at these content shoots taking them. She sends me raw files, and I'm tweaking it in Lightroom and stuff like that. But it's so nice having her to
Yeah.
nerd out on camera gear and lighting and all of that. I draw a lot of inspiration from those influencers that I'm following on social media. I don't like to follow all of the photo norms that you do, your rule of thirds and stuff like that. I'm always thinking about, where am I going to put copy
Sure.
on this photo? Where is it going to look nice? You know, waterfall it off the right edge, have some left align text, stuff like that. But like what I've been noticing a lot at the tail end of 25, and I'm assuming into 26, is like stark contrast flash photography is making a huge comeback.
What does that mean?
So instead of having, you know, a pre-lit studio with just the photo being taken with your static light setup, you're using a hot flash kit and just blaring your photo with that flash, darkening the entire background so that your product is like front and center. It's very
Okay.
nostalgic
Okay.
Yeah.
to like,
All right. Yeah. No. I can see.
you know,
Yeah.
you got a disposable camera at a party in the 90s and you're taking photos and they look that way. And I feel like that nostalgia is kind of coming back. So we implemented that for House of Pizza
Yeah.
for that whole photo shoot. And the photos turned out incredible. I love working with them, you know, just doing those like sliders that we were working
Yeah.
on. But then another thing that I try to focus on before I was going out on a lot of content shoots and gathering the stuff that I was working with, you know, I was in a setting where we weren't able to do that all the time. So I
Sure.
was relying a lot on stock. And just like a little pro tip from me is like, I noticed that when you're looking for stock photography and video, typing genuine
Oh.
in the search tab of whatever topic you're looking up, the photos just, they're different. They're tagged
Interesting.
differently. They look more natural. And I think it also plays with how do you not make it perfect? How do you, you know, to combat AI, using genuine photography so that it feels lived in, it feels real world,
I like
really
that.
kind of connects it to everyone
Yeah.
that's viewing it rather than a perfect, there's always going to be a spot for like a perfect product photo
Yeah.
on a stark white backdrop, you know, for a website or something like that. But that genuine photography and video that really connects to the users, it's super valuable. So I always, you know, if I'm looking
That's
up
really good to know. I'm gonna
dentist
do that.
office, you type that in on a stock site and you get the worst stock
They're all
photography
just like
ever.
robotic and they're smiling
The
at
dentist
each other.
and
It's like,
the
oh.
kid are smiling at the
Yes.
camera. You don't
'Cause all
want
kids
that.
are smiling at the dentist.
It's so weird. So like just adding genuine in front of a search term really helps out with stock.
Cool. And we obviously try to not use a ton of stock photography here, but sometimes it happens. We have some clients who are like, oh, whatever, but I really try to put it into every proposal that we do because, and as like not optional because it's so hard to work with. Okay. What are some things, well, maybe I guess you already answered this, but maybe with like video that you're looking at for like 2026 that you're like, oh, I'd love to try this with video.
I really want to work on transitions, being more creative with in-camera transitions rather than relying on some sort of crossfade
Sure.
or a dither into another clip. I feel like that stands out so much in the social content that's absorbed, is if like the camera makes a super quick movement up and then
Sure.
it's into the next clip. That takes a lot of pre-planning that I don't always have the time for. So I'm kind of just thinking of it at the content shoots. But I'd really like to work on transitions. I come from making video about storytelling, so I like getting a setting in place and then an intro and then, you know, developing the story, and it takes so much time and it becomes this really long video. And I'd send them out to Isabella and she'd be like, this needs to be a third the length right now.
Yeah.
And she'd sit down with me and we'd trim stuff up and I'm like, this is so much better. So shorter content, but
Well, it's hard. You weren't necessarily, when you started working in the world of video, you weren't working on that like short form content, and
It was
that's
like-
a lot of what the video that we do.
Yeah,
So
it was like 5
it's
minute
tough.
portrait
I have
video.
Oh wow, yeah.
I have always, and I do think the more I've been working here and in this world, my writing, short form writing was so hard for me. And I always had to be like, just put this on an ad and then we can look at it and we can cut it, right? And now I'm like, okay, I think I can get this down to,
The balance
whatever.
where
Yeah.
it lives.
Yeah, that's tough. Is there anything that you guys are excited to explore this year that you can think of?
Too early in
What-
the year.
It's so
yeah,
hard
too
to
early
know.
in the year. Okay, so we'll come back in June and we'll have
Yes.
the same conversation.
Sure.
And then when I ask that question, it's too early in the year. We just don't know.
It's like, oh, that's in the past. Oh, that was 6 months ago. That wasn't a trend. Yeah. I don't know.
Too funny. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you sitting down with me. I'm an account manager here. Don't get to like work in the design world, but I love seeing what you guys create, and I'm always just blown away with all the talent that is in your 10 fingers and in those brains. You're both incredible, and so happy that you are here to round out our wonderful team of designers.
Hey,
Yay.
thanks.
Sweet.
All right, that is all we have for you today. So we will see you next week on Behind the Brand. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Brand. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. If you didn't, share it with an enemy. And make sure to leave us a 5-star review. To stay connected, follow us at the links in the show notes below.